What's going on, guys? Well, the next MCU series to hit Disney Plus is right around the corner, and I'm talking about Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion will more or less follow up the events of Captain Marvel, where we're introduced to the Skrulls, a race of shape-shifting aliens who have infiltrated Earth. And also, we'll get answers to the question of where Nick Fury has been this whole time. Yes, we've seen Nick Fury in Far From Home and some other stuff, but it wasn't actually him. It was actually Talos, one of the Skrulls, in disguise. Rewinding all the way back to 2019 with Captain Marvel, we got introduced to the Skrulls. Carol Danvers was actually more or less abducted by the Kree and made to believe she was one of them, putting her on an army against the Skrulls. In the Marvel Comics, the Kree and the Skrulls have been at war for a long, long time, and that war carried over into that movie. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, found herself in the midst of a war between the Kree and the Skrull. With the help of Nick Fury, she finds out that the Kree are actually the bad ones, and they're led by Ronan the Accuser, the same guy from Guardians. So they choose to help the Skrulls, and together they defeat the Kree. But what happens after that? Well, fast forward all the way to Far From Home, Spider-Man gets recruited by Nick Fury to help Mysterio take on elemental creatures who aren't even real. They're all conjured up by Mysterio. We pretty much think that Nick Fury's there the whole time, but at the end of the movie, it's actually Talos in disguise, as Nick Fury has been off of Earth the entire time, ever since the events of Avengers Endgame. So, at the end of Avengers Endgame, yes, the Avengers defeated Thanos, but at the cost of the lives of Black Widow and Iron Man. This pretty much devastated Nick Fury to the point to where he went off-world, and he was hiding out on the Sword space station. Sword being like the space equivalent to S.H.I.E.L.D. So what was he doing up there this whole time? Well, Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels, will answer that question, and that movie ties heavily into Secret Invasion. So that brings me to this series. We'll be introduced to another Skrull who's going to be the main antagonist. I don't know if we're going to see the Super Skrull or not. And the Super Skrull in the comics is one that can shapeshift into like a bunch of different things at like the same time, I guess. Like at one point he was all 4 Fantastic Four members at once. But it's unspecified if he'll make an appearance or not. Mainly, we're going to see Talos, Talos' daughter Gaia, played by Emilia Clarke, and together they're going to be helping Nick Fury with this whole Skrull invasion. I guess at some point after the Captain Marvel movie, Skrulls infiltrated Earth even more so and started taking over in place of other people. So at this point, we don't know who's real and who's a Skrull, just like in the comics. But then on the other side of that, you have this villainous guy. I can't remember his name at the time. But he's pushing more for like Skrulls to take over, whereas the other regular Skrulls, like Talos and them, just want to help the humans. They don't want to take over. So I guess that's like the internal conflict between the Skrulls. Also, we're going to see an appearance by Don Cheadle as War Machine and some others. So that's pretty cool. This is going to be a 6-episode series, with the first 2 episodes dropping on June 21st. So stay tuned for that.
Since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse.
We don't know who we can trust.
For years, you've been avoiding Earth. But I have called for your help plenty of other times.
Yeah, well, this is different.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged on this planet. Old friend.
Well, Mama always said I was special. This is personal.
You got to figure out which side you're on.
Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion, only on Disney Plus.
And with that, guys, I guess I'll return with the review of the entire series. So I'll see you then.